Good morning, everybody. So I thought to close out the year, to close out 2024, I would do a Q&A session, life update, just a really chill video where we can hang out and chat and just talk about this year. But also with that said, I just want to wish all of you a happy new year. I hope that you've had a wonderful holiday season. I hope that this new year brings you love, peace, joy, all of the good things. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being here this year, for my videos, for supporting me, for loving me, whether this is the first year you have been here or if you have been here from day one. I can't believe I'm about to start, I think it's my 5th year as a YouTuber, which is just crazy. So like truly, you all mean the world to me and I am so grateful for each and every one of you. I had to grab these books from my bookshelf because before we get into the Q&A, I would like to announce that I am doing a giveaway. So when I first moved into this apartment, I was having some issues with my mail, and so Book of the Month accidentally sent me 2 copies of each of these books that I had talked about earlier in this month. So I have an extra copy of each. This book right here is called The 13th Child, and this is a fantasy book by Aaron A. Craig. And then this book right here is called Beautiful Ugly, and this is a thriller by Alice Feeney. There's going to be 2 winners for this giveaway, one for this book and one for this one. So what you have to do to enter the giveaway for one of these books is you have to like this video and then leave me a comment telling me which video of mine from this year, from 2024, was your favorite and which book you would like to win. I will choose the giveaway winners 1 week from the date that this video is uploaded, and how you will know if you won is I will respond to your comment on this video, and I will also make a post on the community page. Okay, so let me grab my phone because I have all of the questions written down here. How am I enjoying being a brunette? Do I have any changes coming soon? And what about a bob? So I am enjoying being a brunette. I think it's been a really fun change. I will say that I think it's a bit darker than I would have particularly liked. I think I went a little bit too far on the other end. Like instead of being bleach blonde, I think I went a little bit too far. But now that the color has faded a little bit, I am liking it a lot more than when I first dyed it. I actually do have a hair appointment next week. Plan is I'm going to add some highlights into my hair, but still keep it brunette, like some caramely highlights, maybe like a balayage, something like that. So it's going to brighten it up a little bit without going back to being bleach blonde. And then to answer the last part of that question, would I ever do a bob? My answer is no. So I've had short hair before and I did not like it. I love having long hair. So to be honest, I don't ever see myself doing a drastic haircut. If anything, I would maybe just cut like a few inches off. Like I feel like that's like the most amount of hair that I would ever cut off. I love having my hair long, so I definitely don't see myself ever cutting it short. What software do you use to edit your videos? I use iMovie for my YouTube videos, and then when I make Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, I usually just use the Instagram app, their Instagram Reels editor, either on the stories or the Reels section of Instagram. And then I just save the video to my phone, and then I either upload it to Instagram or YouTube. This isn't a question, but it is a compliment. It just says, thank you for providing a positive community on your channel. It's refreshing. I want to say thank you to all of you because I feel like if I didn't have such a supportive and loving community, I wouldn't be able to do this. And with my channel, my goal is ultimately just to spread positivity, to spread light, and to be able to travel virtually with you guys around the world. And I just feel like we've created such a wonderful online family here, and I'm just so grateful for each of you. So just thank you for being here. Okay, next question. Would I ever change airlines, for example, become a United flight attendant so I could be based in Denver? This is a really good question, but my answer is no. So if I were to, for example, want to work for United so I could be based in Denver, I would have to quit my current airline. I would have to start completely over. I would have to do the application process, the interview process, and become hired by the new airline, go through their training process, and then I would start over at the bottom of their seniority list, the bottom of their reserve, like the bottom of their company. I would completely start over, which is why I do not want to quit my current airline, even though we don't have a base here. I do not want to go through training again. I do not want to go through the application application process again. I would rather keep my seniority, keep the pay that I have earned through flying for 8 years, and just do the commute rather than start over completely at another airline. Also, I am just genuinely really happy with my airline, and I don't think the need to commute or live in base is a big enough reason for me to want to change airlines. Looking back on 2024, what is the most important life lesson you learned? Oof, okay, so this is a heavy one, but I would say the most important life lesson I learned is to be appreciative for your health, be appreciative for your life, because you truly never know when it's your time. Like, you truly never know how long you have, and to appreciate the time that you get with your family and with your loved ones, because that is just the most important thing. Like, you could have all of the money in the world, you could travel to all of these amazing places, you could have the biggest house in the world, but those things just don't even matter that much in comparison to being able to spend time with your closest loved ones and your family. Is there a book that I read this year that I had zero expectations for and ended up loving? Yes. So I listened to the audiobook for Scythe, which I had no expectations for this. I just thought it would be like kind of cool, maybe mysterious, and I ended up loving it. Am I considering changing bases long term, like going back to DFW for a shorter commute? Why stay in PHL? What are the pros and the cons? So yes, I am definitely at this point considering transferring back to DFW for the shorter commute. I have actually done this commute a few times before for trips. I've only vlogged one of those trips. I'm taking a break from vlogging some of my trips just because mentally I need to take a step back. But anyway, and it is getting exhausting. Like, it is a very long flight to get there and a long flight home. So I am absolutely considering transferring back to DFW. And the reason why I would transfer back to DFW and not to any of the other bases is because, one, I've been based in Dallas, like I just know it, I understand it better, and I have friends that live there, so if I were to ever get stuck, I would have a place to stay. Whereas like with Chicago or Phoenix, like I don't know anybody there, and so if I were to get stuck or if something were to go wrong, I mean, I would get a hotel and like it would be fine, but I just would prefer to be somewhere where I am more comfortable with and I have more experience with. Now, the reasons why I would want to stay in Philadelphia is because it is much easier to pick up European trips. Like, it's much easier to pick up those international premium destination flights. However, Eric made a really good point with me, is he was like, you are going to absolutely exhaust yourself. Like, if you fly in 3.5, 4 hours and then have to go work a 7 or an 8 hour international flight, he was like, you are going to burn out so fast, you're going to be exhausted, and it's not going to be good for your physical or mental health. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And the thing with Dallas is it's not like there aren't international trips. Like, there are. They're just a little bit more difficult to get because it's a bigger base. But also, I didn't really try very hard to get international trips when I was Dallas based. I kind of just flew my schedule and didn't really, try to look at the trade board, try to pick up international trips. Whereas I feel like now with more seniority and just with like more of an understanding of our bidding systems, I would definitely try harder to get those international trips being Dallas based. And the other thing too is I was getting kind of sad because I was telling Eric, I was like, well, I want to stay in Philly maybe through the summer because Philly gets those like really cool seasonal trips. For example, like Nice, France, Copenhagen, Athens, Greece. But back to his original point of like overly exhausting myself, and then also I probably would be too tired to even go out and do anything on my layovers. He was like, well, the other thing we could do is I turned 30 this year and Eric turned 30 last year, is we could do like a Mediterranean cruise. And that way for my birthday, I would get to see all of those like beautiful destinations, but we would get to go together. And honestly, I think that would be even more fun. I'm sure another question I was gonna get on here was, do we have any vacations planned for next year? Any cruises planned? And I would say yes, like absolutely a Mediterranean cruise, probably around my birthday. So if any of you have been on a Mediterranean cruise, and if you have any recommendations, please let me know in the comment section below because I'm starting to do my research for it now. What is my philosophy or life motto for when I'm in a bad mood? So I would say that I try to think of this philosophy and life motto not only when I'm in a bad mood, but also when I'm in a good mood too. And it's actually my favorite quote of all time, and that is, each day is a gift, not a given right. Top 3 memories from this year. Okay, definitely Tiffany Tiffany's wedding, which was in St. Lucia. That trip was absolutely amazing. Also, the trip that I took with my sister Alicia to New York to celebrate her birthday, and our annual sister trip. That was so much fun. My next favorite memory from this year was going home to my parents' house and meeting their puppy Maximus for the first time. He is just such a love bug, such a sweetheart, such a loving light that has been welcomed into our family, and we're just so grateful for him. Where would I like to fly to in 2025 that I have not been to yet for work? Okay, so for work specifically, I would love to get that Doha route. Like, I would love to do the Doha trip before I transfer out of Philadelphia, and then if/when I transfer to Dallas, I would love to do the Auckland, New Zealand flight, and then I would also love to do any of the Australia routes too. So those are kind of like my big dream goals of like trips that I would love to like manifest and just do in this next year. And then if I transfer back to Dallas, I am very excited to do the Hawaiian routes again because I love Hawaii and I just miss it so much. So those are definitely some of the trips that I would love to do. This one's really cute too. How did Luna get her name? So Luna got her name because Eric's childhood dog was also a golden retriever and her name was Sunshine. And so when Eric was getting Luna, he knew that he wanted a name that was similar to Sunshine's, like would honor her, but was also different. And so he wanted a name that was something from the sky. And I feel like, you know, you have the sun and then you have the moon. Interesting question. If Eric and I had kids, would they obtain dual citizenship? Yes. So the kids would. I would not, which I think is kind of hilarious. So if you didn't know, Eric is half Swiss. He has dual citizenship between being American and Swiss. So if we were to have children, they would obtain Swiss citizenship as well as American citizenship. However, for me to obtain Swiss citizenship, I would have to be married to Eric for like a certain amount of time, live in Switzerland for a certain amount of time, work there, I believe, and then also pass a language test. So for me to become a citizen, it's definitely more of a process. What do I love the most about Colorado? I love the sense of peace that I have here. Like, there is just nowhere else where my soul, other than like Vegas where I grew up, where my soul just feels like this is home. And I just love how Colorado has so much to offer. You can drive an hour in one direction and you can have Rocky Mountain National Park. You can drive an hour in this direction and you can have Estes Park. You can have Vail. You can have Colorado Springs. Like, there is just so much to offer about this state. And I'm also so excited to start exploring more of it and, of course, bring you guys with me. I also love how close Eric and I are now to the University of Denver where we went to school. So that way we can watch like the games and attend like alumni events and also just feel closer to the community and where we went to school. Do I have any reading goals for 2025? Yes. So reading goals for 2025 are to read all of the books on my physical TBR before I buy any new books, unless if they're new releases from authors that I love, then I would probably buy new books. But I definitely want to read all of the books that I have on my bookshelf that I have not read yet. This year I have read, I think it's like 65 books. Last year I read 72, so I'll probably have my goal be around the same, like read 70 books in a year. Do I like or hate when books are turned into movies? I absolutely love it. Even if the movie is not as good as the book, I don't even care. I'm just so excited, and I just think it is so cool when books get to be turned into a film, because then it's like I get to see the visual representation of what I got to read, which I just think is amazing. I know that's a bit of a controversial opinion. A lot of people like really don't like when books are being turned into movies because they feel like it can ruin the book, but I don't know. I don't think it can ruin the book. I think you should just like enjoy it for whatever it is. Next question, where is my car and what do I plan to do with it? So my car is currently in Pennsylvania at Eric's parents' house. I plan on keeping it there for the month of January at least while I am on reserve, because I will be driving back and forth from the airport a lot and I will be staying at that house, you know, in between trips when I'm on call, etc. So I definitely need my car there for that month. And then beyond that, I don't really know what my plan is yet. I probably will turn it in and exchange it for a different car. I'll probably turn it in Pennsylvania and then get a new car here. That way I don't have to drive it or ship it across the country. But I'm definitely going to wait to do any of that until I am not on reserve and I can bid my trips ahead of time, fly in, you know, work my trip, and then fly home where I don't need a car. So yeah, that's kind of my tentative plan. A question that I was getting asked a lot in my last video about commuting too is if I commute in the day before a trip, if my airline covers the hotel for that night. And the answer is no. It is my choice to commute. My airline will cover the hotel as long as it's like on the work trip, you know what I mean? Like when I'm like, you know, on a layover for work. But if I am making the choice to commute rather than live in base, if I have to fly in the day before my trip, I can use my flight benefits. So the airline does cover that because we have flight benefits whether you are commuting or not. However, if I need to fly in the night before my trip and stay in a hotel, no, my airline does not cover the cost of that hotel stay. Okay, so even though this entire video was a Q&A, I'm still going to keep up with my new tradition on each vlog to end it with a question that was asked in the comment section of my previous video. So for today's question, Lorraine God 2476 asks, if you couldn't be a flight attendant, what would you do for another profession? So originally when I went to college, I wanted to be a news anchor. I had wanted to be a news anchor probably since like early high school. I just thought it would be so much fun. I wanted to be in front of the camera. I wanted to do all of that kind of stuff. So in college, I studied journalism and media studies. And then during college, I toured a few news stations, and then I did like an internship after college where I worked as a copywriter. And I just very quickly realized that it was not the industry for me. Like, it is just not what I wanted to do. I didn't like the idea to become a news anchor of having to move to any state that they would require me to and to work like the really early morning, not so fun shifts. And it's kind of crazy because it's like I wasn't willing to move or do like the weird hours for that job. But then when I became a flight attendant, I was. So I guess that just goes to show that like my heart was in the right place to become a flight attendant, but it just wasn't in it to become a news anchor. So I feel like if I had never had the idea to become a flight attendant to travel, then I probably would have stuck with my original career path to become a news anchor, which I do think would have been very fun, but just at the time, I don't know, it just like did not feel right for me. Now I feel like because I am a flight attendant, I get to travel and I have my own YouTube channel, I feel like I have found like the perfect combination of my passions and the things that I wanted to do, because with my YouTube channel, I still get to be in front of a camera, but it almost feels more meaningful because I get to share my life and my travels with all of you as opposed to just reporting on the news. Now, dream career, which is highly unrealistic and unlikely, would be to be an actress. I think being able to travel around the world and to film movies and to like be an actress would be so amazing. Like that is like the ultimate dream job for me, I feel like, would be to be an actress. I have absolutely zero experience acting, so it's not like that is something that is even feasible for me, but I just think in like a dream world, that would be so awesome. All right, you guys, I can't believe it, but I am going to conclude the last video of 2024 here. Make sure that if you want to enter the giveaway, you like this video, and then you tell me in the comment section what your favorite video of mine is that I uploaded this year, and then you also tell me which book you would potentially like to win. Thank you everyone so much for watching this video and for just watching my content throughout 2024. I am so excited for this new year. I already have so many content ideas and different series ideas, etc., like going into the new year, that I am just so thrilled about and cannot wait to start filming those things. So just thank you again for being here. If you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe because I would love to see you again in all of my future videos. I hope that you are just having a fabulous end to this year and a great start to the new year, and I will see you next time. Bye!